going on, movie lovers? Welcome back to Apocaflix Movie News, or if this is your first time, welcome for the first time. I am Jacob Bartley, the host of this show, and this is our movie news podcast where we break down some of the biggest movie news stories going on in the world of movies. I am not alone today, as I'm joined by Jake Berlin. What's going on, man?
Not much, yeah. Glad I can join you after this weekend.
Thank you for joining me. You know, I don't mind doing it alone, but it's not as fun.
Yeah, it's not as fun.
It kind of just feels like I'm talking to myself. So I'd rather do it with somebody for sure. So a little late this time around, but we're going to bring it to you either way. We got a bunch of cool stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, we do.
This is one of the most fun, as far as topics go, one of the most fun ones I can remember in a while. So let's jump right into it. So first one has to do with the MCU, Kevin Feige, and Thanos' role in Avengers Infinity War. So although we've seen just minutes of Josh Brolin's Thanos since his big screen debut in 2012 in Joss Whedon's The Avengers, Marvel has always promised that when the Mad Titan does in fact arrive in Avengers Infinity War, he will truly arrive. With the massive Infinity War beginning production just a few short weeks ago, we're beginning to hear and see things for the Joe and Anthony Russo film. On top of getting an awesome first look at the first day of filming thanks to a new featurette, Marvel president and all-around genius Kevin Feige was asked about the character of Thanos, where he then revealed some quite surprises leading our thoughts about Infinity War. Thanos in Infinity War is in a movie that has a lot of characters. You could almost go as far to say he is the main character, and that's a bit of a departure from what we've done before. But that was appropriate for a movie called Infinity War. Avengers Infinity War hits theaters on May 4th, 2018. So Jake, hearing this from Kevin Feige himself, the guy who probably knows the most about this movie, how do you feel about this?
I think it's awesome. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, there's obviously a lot of people love it just because it's different from what Marvel has done, but also there's a lot of people who just don't like it because they don't want to see the heroes, and they think it's about the Guardians and the Avengers coming together and whatnot, and that's very much the case, yes, but remember, when these movies were first announced, they were called Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2.
Yes.
So my thought of it is, even though they're not called that anymore, and they're supposedly going to have different titles, Infinity War is almost going to be an origin-like story for Thanos, where it's focusing on him, but also the bringing together of the Avengers and Guardians and everyone. And then Part 2, which is going to have a different title, is going to be the real battle where we see characters die and things kind of change for the MCU. It's just exciting because ever since 2012 when we saw him in the Avengers, we've been wondering when he's going to show up. We've seen him here and there. His biggest role was in Guardians of the Galaxy. We saw him for just a short few minutes there. So knowing that he's going to have most of the screen time, if not all of the screen time in Infinity War, is pretty exciting. And the featurette was really cool. It didn't reveal a ton. It was just a cool look inside of the first day. The very first moment of the featurette had Robert Downey Jr., Tom Holland, and Chris Pratt together.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the featurette after we talked about Thanos. Yeah. But I didn't mention that featurette, which was really cool.
So you have to see those three, who are three different sides of the Marvel Universe, come together in that, and then all the concept art was really cool. Obviously, the one that sticks out is the Thor and Rocket Raccoon one, just because...
Yeah, that's...
Well, if you look closely, Thor doesn't have his hammer. He has a different weapon, which is going to speculate things going into Ragnarok and whatnot. But it's really cool, and I think that they're going to do it right, and this is going to be a massive, epic, gigantic movie on all kinds of scales, and having Thanos be the main guy where maybe he's the first guy we see on screen and the last guy we see on screen. That would be insane.
I think people are taking it the wrong way when those people who think that, oh no, it's going to be a Thanos movie. It's not going to be a Thanos movie. It's still going to be an Avengers film, but he's going to take the forefront. I was thinking about it, and I compare it to The Dark Knight. Look at The Dark Knight. It's a Batman movie, but
Joker is there.
It's just as much a Joker story as it is. Joker steals that movie, but it is a Batman and Joker movie.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be similar to that, to where that movie opens with the Joker, and this movie could open with Thanos. We've seen all the Avengers and what they've been doing and what they've been up to. A lot of them getting their own movies. So I think it could start with a Thanos origin, the first 30 minutes or so.
Well, you have to keep in mind, we have to see him collect the Infinity Stones.
Exactly. How did he get them?
Exactly. So I think that's what's going to tell.
See him just show up and he has them.
I think, and you also have
or maybe he has 4 and we see him collect that last one.
And maybe he gets one in Thor 3 and then he gets the last 4 or 5 in this movie or whatever it is. And then also, the Guardians and Avengers, they're not going to be friends when they first show up. If Guardians come to Earth, the Avengers are going to protect Earth, and who are these people?
And every time heroes first meet, they always fight.
Yeah.
Even in the first Avengers.
Exactly.
When
Thor
Captain
and
America
Hulk, they fought. And
yeah, exactly. When Captain America and Iron Man first meet Thor, they're fighting.
Exactly.
And so they're definitely going to play on that.
Well, we've heard the whole Hulk and Groot, they're going to fight.
And even in the Avengers animated series, like the first time the Guardians of the Galaxy show up, they're fighting. And they always fight every time they meet. Like, because they always have different goals and stuff like that. So I think they will fight for sure. And then the fourth Avengers film will have the full-on battle.
Fight. It was all the heroes versus Thanos.
I trust Kevin Feige. I trust the Russo brothers. This movie is going to have enough focus on the Avengers, and it's going to be its own complete. Yes. It's not going to be like where like the Fellowship of the Ring, where it ends like with a cliffhanger. It might end up with a little cliffhanger, but it will have its own resolution at the end of this movie.
I think so. Yeah.
So I love this, honestly, because
I agree.
When else are you going to have time to build on Thanos? You're not. So why not in the movie where
there's been enough teases, villain? Like get to him now.
Exactly.
And one question I do have, because they announced the official cast for Infinity War. Where the hell is Ant-Man?
He's not on it?
He wasn't on it. And that's what I'm wondering where he is.
Upsetting. I think if he's not in the third one, he'll for sure be in the fourth one.
Yeah, and hopefully it's almost like a Civil War thing where they announced the official cast and then brought people on later.
I think that's what it'll be.
Because he was in Civil War, so why isn't he in Infinity War?
Yeah, and I thought we would see Cap with that team.
Exactly. And his entire team, other than Ant-Man, is there. So.
I think he'll be there. There was another official casting list that came out like 2 or 3 weeks ago or a month ago, and it didn't have Tom Holland on it. And now Tom Holland's confirmed, so I don't know if those are official casting lists, you know? And they put out that footage where Tom Holland's clearly there. Yeah. And how awesome is it to see Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Star-Lord standing next to each other? Like, that is so awesome.
Well, you have the very first guy we ever saw in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, part of the Avengers. Yeah. The very first guy we saw of Guardians. Exactly. And then the latest guy they brought in, the young gun.
Much, who's going to probably lead this franchise for a long time. Yeah. All right, well, moving on to another universe from another studio. The last few weeks for Warner Bros. And DC have been turmoil. First, it was announced that The Flash would get a page 1 rewrite after already losing 2 directors. Next came the rumors revolving around the Batman script, which ultimately ended with Ben Affleck stepping down as director. What can come next? We'll have to wait and see, but for now it seems the DCEU just received that glimmer of hope that we're looking for. No doubt WB was on the hunt for a willing and well-known director to replace Affleck before the news was even broke. And after what was pretty short shirts, Matt Reeves of Cloverfield and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes fame will be stepping in to helm the highly anticipated project. No release date was revealed, but it's speculated the film will be released in 2019 from a script by Affleck's writing partner Chris Terrio. Now, usually we switch off who goes first, but I'm going to let you go first because I put my news bit out already. Yeah. And also, I know you're a huge fan of Matt Reeves because Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was
It's one of my favorites.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'll let you take the floor.
Yeah, it's starting off with the whole, because I haven't had a chance to talk about the whole Affleck writing and stepping down as director and whatnot, and that's obviously super unfortunate. It's one of the big things that we were looking forward to in DC. If Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad didn't work as well as they should have, we all could have said, hey, Ben Affleck's directing the Batman. Look at that movie. It's still going to have a lot of things going for it. But, and then hearing that he stepped down, it was like chaos just going around for DC in the world. Like, people broke down, and it was like a wildfire just spreading and spreading and spreading. People are wondering if Ben Affleck was going to step down as an actor. I for one, thought it was going to happen, just slightly going to happen, because it just looked like one thing was tumbling after another. But shortlist came out right after Affleck had stepped down, and Matt Reeves was on it. And a few short days later, we have Matt Reeves as a director for the Batman, and he's in final negotiations. It's pretty much official. But having Matt Reeves, someone who isn't like David Ayer, isn't like Zack Snyder, where yes, they know how to do action and do a very big spectacle movie. But if you look at Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and how Matt Reeves was able to handle characters and story on top of action, it's a phenomenal choice. I think it's the best choice they could have possibly made. There's definitely some other directors, obviously, like we were all crossing our fingers for Ben Affleck's guy from Gone Girl.
Fincher.
David Fincher.
That was my number one choice.
Yes.
And then a lot of people were throwing on Denis Villeneuve, which that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah. So, if you think about it, a lot of people aren't going to know who Matt Reeves is, but if you look at his work, I mean,
that's what
matters.
The guy who directed Dawn of the Planet.
Yeah, and even
like,
Cloverfield. Like, Cloverfield was still phenomenal, and so I think it's a fantastic choice. I think that now that this has happened, Affleck can worry about the script, can worry about taking care of himself for Batman. I hope that they stick to what the plan was as far as Deathstroke, and there was the rumor
now it's coming out that they're going to a page one rewrite.
Yeah, and it's just like, I like what I was hearing about.
I mean, maybe Matt Reeves has something to do with that.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe they're like, all right, let's take the core of what you had planned and let's create something new. I
did like the part about how they were gonna do some Arkham Asylum stuff, and there was gonna be a whole bunch of different villains in there, and kind of just throw the entire kitchen sink in the film. But if they do change it, that's fine. I still want Deathstroke in there. I hope that's where they go.
Me too.
I hope
Joe Manganiello, he's still cast, right? I mean, who knows with DC?
But as far as bringing on Matt Reeves, I think it's phenomenal. They didn't wash away the stench, but they damn near got rid of it. Now we're excited for the Batman again. I mean, it's back on track, what we wanted. I just hope that it's not a 2019 release. I hope it's a 2018 release, a late one, because 2 years from now, 2.5 years from now is a long time. Exactly. And Affleck's not getting younger, so
exactly. I'm not going to go too much on this. I think this is a great choice, hands down. Like it's one of the best choices they could have. Even though I wanted a Fincher, he's kind of more of like, I don't want to say an indie director.
He's like a drama guy. He's
like a drama guy. He could have done it for sure.
No doubt.
Looking at his films, he hasn't really done action, so I think Matt Reeves is probably a better choice. Mm-hmm. But for me, I personally want a Fincher. But yeah, this is great news. Out of all the bad news coming out, this is great news. I was ready to say, like right before Ben Affleck officially left as a director, and for sure after that, I was ready to say I'm kind of giving up on DC. Yeah. And I said my one hope was Wonder Woman. It's going to decide if Wonder Woman failed, like that's it for me. Like obviously I can change my mind. If Justice League is great, then I'm back on board, Yeah. But like I never have said I give up until recently. But now this is kind of getting me back on board with Matt Reeves. Hopefully they don't bully him like they have other directors.
Well, look at what we've seen from War for Planet of the Apes so far. That movie looks absolutely massive.
I think it's
going to be so much bigger than what Dawn was, and stepping into a movie that has Batman in it, that's big shoes.
I think that Ben Affleck wanted Matt Reeves.
I think so too.
They're like, who do you want?
Because Gone
he's going to be working with him.
Well, Gone Girl was a Fox movie, and Planet of the Apes is Fox. They must have met before at some point.
And I bet you Affleck admires his work.
Yeah.
His Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is amazing, and he has blockbuster experience. I said in my news bit, being able to create that type of tone of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes in a PG-13 movie is exactly what Batman needs. So I think that for that reason, it's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, well, our first trailer for the show actually dropped this morning, and that was not this morning, but it was. We wrote these notes earlier, but earlier last week, and that is Ghost in the Shell. The big screen adaptation brings to life the hugely popular graphic novel that follows Major, a special ops, one-of-a-kind human cyborg played by Scarlett Johansson, who leads the elite task force Section 9, tasked with stopping the most dangerous criminals and extremists. Directed by Rupert Sanders, Ghost in the Shell will open on March 31st, 2017. I will take this one first, and I told Jake, even before I watched this trailer, I'm starting to build up a lot of anticipation for this movie. Like you said, it's something different. It looks incredible visually. Like, what are those huge giant beings like just standing next to the skyscraper?
It's some kind of giant hologram.
I'm not familiar with the source material,
idea.
But I know it's heavily beloved and very popular. And there's an animated film. I guess.
I have heard.
I kind of want to watch it. Yeah. I might watch this first and then go watch the animated film. But this looks amazing. Scarlett Johansson has been one of my favorite actresses for a long, long time, and I understand why people wanted them to cast an Asian actress, and I'm all for diversity and giving opportunities to different races and stuff. But at the same time, you kind of have to be realist and understand that
get this movie out there.
If they cast an unknown actress, forget race, somebody unknown, it wouldn't make money. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be a huge blockbuster. She is a huge blockbuster draw. If you want movies like this to succeed in the future, you have to knock one out of the park first and get it seen by everybody. And casting
you have to get the brand out there.
Casting her is a way to do that. Look, if this movie kills it and does very well, then that opens up the door for Asian actresses or other properties that have different races in the lead roles to come out later on, But first you have to, put this out, and I just think it looks great, and I love her. She's obviously proven as an action star in the Avengers films, and even though Lucy was not a good movie, she was great
butt.
in it,
Yeah,
and her action scenes were great. So, and I love this trailer. I like, this is my favorite trailer so far, honestly. The other trailer I liked, but this one I could say I loved because it showed us a little bit more of what's really going on, and it showed us a lot of action. So I'm totally in.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, as far as the trailer goes, it dove into the story a lot more, and that kind of it piqued my interest a little bit more. And I now know what it's about and kind of what's going on, because I had no idea what this property was before the movie was announced. It's highly loved, the graphic novel, the animated movies and TV show, and it looks a lot of fun. It looks totally different from what we've seen. I love the old android cybernetic being aspect from it. It doesn't look like there's just one either. It looks like there's a ton of them. The fact that she's coming alive, she's no longer just this robot. She has her past memories and whatnot. Like you said, Scarlett Johansson, she's an obviously draw to audiences. She's an action prowess on the screen. Obviously as Black Widow in the Avengers movies and whatnot, but it looks like a movie that can surprise people. I know a lot of people have questioned it just because of the casting choice and whatnot. I got a lot of backlash a number of months ago, but it's kind of being washed away with these trailers and how it looks, and visually it looks fantastic. I think it just, like you had said, it looks like something completely different from what we've seen. It comes out next month too, which is very exciting, and March is action-packed with movies, and I think that this is going to be one of the bright spots, hopefully anyway, and like Jacob had said, I hope it opens the doors for bigger things to come for this kind of movie, and stories down the road for other big properties out of Japan and other countries. So
so this will not only benefit manga properties in the future from getting made, but also it's putting another female action star in the forefront. Like we need more diversity as far as gender and race. So I know it's unfortunate that it can't be an Asian actress or another race other than white, but it's a female action star. Like, be happy about that in the first place, regardless of race. So
there's always a positive.
Exactly. All right. Well, the Lego Batman movie is currently kicking butt in theaters, and it is awesome. I will tell you that. Warner Bros. Is already looking forward to what comes next for their bricked universe. The first trailer for the Lego Ninjago movie was released late last week, which tells the story of 6 young ninjas, Lloyd, Jay, Kai, Cole, Zane, and Naya, who are tasked with defending their island home called Ninjago. The Lego Ninjago movie will be released on September 22nd, 2017, and stars the voices of Dave Franco, Justin Thurrocks, Michael Pena, Olivia Munn, and Jackie Chan. I'll go ahead and take this one first because I freaking love this trailer. My first time seeing it was in theaters, so maybe that had some type of impact on me and everybody's laughing, but I had no idea what Ninjago was. When they first announced that the Ninjago Lego movie was going to be their third one, the Batman one made sense because he was a hit in the Lego movie. I was like, what? Nobody knows what Ninjago is. Why are they making this? But apparently a lot of kids watch it. It's a TV show. And after watching this trailer, I'm totally in. Like, it's hilarious to me. Like, most of the jokes hit for me. Especially, even just the opening one, like, Dad, and then he's like, wait, what'd you say? He's like, I didn't say anything. Dad. Like,
that part, and when he says Lloyd, he goes, Lloyd.
Yeah, exactly. That's like, and he's
like, because I named you. It's 2 L's.
Yeah, and then he's like, you ruined my life. He's like, how could I ruin your life? I wasn't there. Like, all those jokes hit, and of course, it seems like a play on Star Wars with the father and the evil father and the son in a way. And I just love what Lego's doing now. The Lego movie and Lego Batman movie are freaking amazing to me. So I'm all in with Ninjago because it's Lego and because this trailer is awesome to me.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, and I actually liked it the second time a lot more than I did the first time. I was still on the fence when I initially watched it last week, but it looks like just so we talked about a Ghost in the Shell. It just looks different.
Exactly.
It looks something different.
Very different even than the other two Lego movies.
And the Batman, which I haven't seen, the Lego Batman movie, it was a spin-off from the original Lego, obviously, and Will Arnett's Batman and whatnot, and this is just something outside the realm of what those movies are doing, and it still has the same jokes, the same feel and whatnot, but it's just something on the other side of the universe, and the TV show is hugely popular. The Lego sets are extremely popular, so there's going to be a lot of kids going to see it. The jokes are really good. That one scene that you had talked about with the father where he finally finds out it's his son and whatnot, and then he calls him later, he's like, I must have butt-dialed you, or whatever. And, so there's a lot of good jokes in there. One thing I do wish that they would have done, though, is I don't know how I feel about Dave Franco's voice.
I didn't even know that was Dave Franco until I read it in the notes right now.
So his voice does seem a little weird.
Is he the lead?
He's the lead. Yeah,
I like it.
I like it. It does sound a little weird to me. I like him as well. I think his comedy is very strong. I just think that his voice sounds a little weird in that kind of role. I like seeing Jackie Chan in there as well as the big their leader, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But it looks like a fun movie. It looks different. Probably gonna have a cool action with all the ninja aspect and whatnot.
The action looks good.
Yeah, so it looks like a good time, and it comes out this year, which is really cool too.
Yeah. All right, well, next up is the expanding new trailer for The Circle, which follows May, an extremely talented young woman, as she rises through the ranks of the world's largest technology and social media company, where she is encouraged by the company founder to live her life with complete transparency. Directed by James Ponsoldt, The Circle is released on April 28th, 2017, and stars Emma Watson, John Boyega, Karen Gillan,
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt, Bill Paxton, and Tom Hanks. So, Jake, how did you like this new trailer for The Circle?
It's good. It's a build off of the original teaser or trailer, whatever you want to call it. It's a cool thing just because in our world today we're dealing with technology and the growth of technology and the possible pluses and the possible minuses as to what it features. And the story as what The Circle is about is basically our worst fear, technology, someone running technology over the world and us being watched 24/7.
Exactly.
This little ball that they create, and I like seeing Emma Watson there. I like seeing her outside of the Harry Potter movies, obviously, and kind of get a bigger one. Outside of the Beauty and the Beast thing, and step into a different kind of role. Like Jacob had said earlier before the show, she's doing an American accent when we have ever seen her do that. So John Boyega as well, Karen Gillan, who is Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy. So there's some cool actors and actresses in there. It looks like a cool story, smaller story, but I'm excited to see it just because the story interests me. It piques my interest. So.
Yeah. This is almost like a horror movie to me. As I was just showing Jake, I have a piece of tape over the camera on my laptop because I don't know who's watching me. But look, I'm super excited for this movie. Emma Watson, I love her. And Tom Hanks is amazing, and John Boyega is amazing. Great supporting cast. I didn't love this trailer. Like, I didn't think it did anything for me differently than the first one did. And I think it's because this is a movie where I want to know as little as possible. Yeah. There's some type of mystery, some type of thriller aspect.
Who's working
There's
with Tom
going to be
Hanks
a twist of some sort. And this is a movie where, like, I want to know as little as possible going in. I just want to go in and watch the movie. I probably won't watch any other trailers or TV spots, but it was just as good as the first trailer, but nothing that stood out to me more.
Yeah, it gets you interested.
Yeah, for sure. All right. When it was announced that Alicia Vikander would portray the beloved character of Lara Croft in Warner Bros.' upcoming reboot of Tomb Raider, the video game genre was slightly reinvigorated after a disappointing 2016. The reboot, while no official details as of yet, is expected to tell the story of a younger Croft as she becomes the Tomb Raider. And now, thanks to various Vikander fan pages, we have our first look at the Oscar winner in her new duds, which look awfully similar to the 2013 video game it's said to be based off of. Directed by Roar
Uthrog, I think it's saying,
okay, and also starring Walter Goggins, Daniel Wu, and Dominic West. Tomb Raider is set for a March 16th, 2018 release date. So, Jake, how does Vikander look to you as Lara Croft? I know you're a big fan of her.
She looks awesome. Yeah. The images, they look like they're torn right out of the video game. The outfit.
And I heard that video game was
one of the best.
Good.
Yeah. And it's supposed to more, like you had said, it's kind of the younger Lara Croft before she's really a Tomb Raider. I know that there's going to be a father aspect to it as well. Walter Goggins as the villain is going to be really cool. We've seen him as like a side villain or just in there, a supporting role. We've never actually seen him in the main villain role. And he's always great, obviously, in the Hateful Eight and Tarantino's movie. She looks awesome. The images look really cool. Don't really reveal much, obviously, but the outfit is like torn right out of the video game. And the video game is said to be really, really good. And obviously, Alicia Vikander is one of the best out there right now. Won an Oscar last year, and Ex Machina and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and all these great movies. So to see her step into a role like this is very exciting. With 2016 being a pretty big disappointment for video game movies, as far as what we were expecting, 2018 could be a plus with Tomb Raider, because if they take a different approach to it and not just worry about the fans and whatnot and just make a good movie, we could be on the rise for video games with other movies coming down the road. But as far as this one, I think she looks great. She's going to kill it. I know she's going to kill it. And we've never actually seen her in real action before. So it's going to be pretty cool to see it.
I would never be interested in a Tomb Raider movie, if you just said they're making a new Tomb Raider movie, I'd be like, I don't really care. But you put her in this movie, Alicia Vikander, she is awesome. She Ex Machina is the first time I ever seen her, and then she just was on a roll that year. And Man from Uncle. Man from Uncle is so underrated, and those three leads are great together. I'm so upset that they're probably not going to make a sequel because it flopped, but them three together were incredible. And then she won her Oscar for The Danish Girl, which deservingly shows she was fantastic in that movie. So she's both one of our favorites working today, and the fact that she's in this movie, I'm totally in for it. Yeah. And also, it goes what we were just talking about earlier: female action-led roles. Like, this is awesome. I want this to succeed so bad for video games and for female-led roles because it'll do good for both.
And she's Swedish, so she's way outside the box as far as white Americans go.
All right, so moving on to our Take One Leave Month segment, where we put two things against each other and decide whether we take which one we take and which one we leave. Our first versus today includes two new trailers from last week, Aftermath and It Comes at Night. Aftermath, which stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, tells the story of guilt and revenge after an air traffic controller's error causes the death of a construction foreman's wife and daughter, and it's based on a true story, actually.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Also starring Scoot McNairy and Maggie Grace. Aftermath lands in theaters on April 7, 2017. It Comes at Night is the latest horror film from A24, which follows a man as he learns that the evil stalking his family may only be a prelude. Starring Joel Edgerton, Riley Keough, and Christopher Abbott. It Comes at Night is released on April 25th, 2017. So, Jake, you watched both of these trailers. Which one you taking, which one you leaving?
Yeah, this is actually a surprisingly tough one to do. And after watching both trailers, I enjoyed both trailers. I think they're obviously very different from each other. Arnold Schwarzenegger in Aftermath, it's a very different role than what we've seen him in. Kind of along the lines of Maggie, the zombie movie from a few years ago.
Yeah, he's doing more some drama different type of roles.
And learning that it's actually a true story definitely gets me interested. But as far as the trailers go, I'm taking It Comes at Night. Seeing Joel Edgerton there is obviously really cool. Don't know much of anyone else in there, but the trailer, it just got me interested because it didn't show close to anything. And having A24 behind it, we were just speaking of Ex Machina. A24 is who did Ex Machina. They did
that's awesome.
a Most Violent Year the same year. So there's an indie film studio a studio that picks up indie films like crazy and does a really good job with them. So the trailer was strong. It didn't show anything. It's just this weird horror movie that's probably going to scare the living crap out of you. Like I said, Joel Edgerton in there. But Aftermath looks really strong as well, and seeing a couple other actors and actresses in there is really good. And I like Scoot McNairy in that movie, but I'm going to take It Comes at Night and leave Aftermath.
Nice. Yeah, I wasn't over the moon excited or impressed by either of these trailers. They both look interesting, so they're kind of equal level for me. But I'm going to take Aftermath because it's not an action movie. It's not... I don't even think... And if you've seen the trailer, you see this. I don't think Arnold Schwarzenegger's character is not going to kill this guy, but the guy's kind of paranoid, thinking that maybe somebody would try to come kill him. So what's going to happen there? It's very interesting to me, and the fact that it's based on a true story and that really happened. I kind of think I remember hearing about that situation, but I'm not sure.
I think it was back in 2002, which is a long time ago.
No, never mind. But there's been so many plane accident situations in the past decade or so.
This one looks horrifying.
I thought I know, and how bad would you feel if that was so? I'm just curious how that's going to explore two humans from different sides of that scenario, and it's interesting how Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, he's older now, so he's not going to do those action movies.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And now he actually has to act in these movies. And I heard he wasn't bad in Maggie. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, me either.
And he's probably going to continue out with this movie. I didn't get enough from It Comes at Night to even be I want to see that.
It didn't reveal anything.
It seemed like a teaser trailer. So because of that, I'm going to leave It Comes at Night and take Aftermath. All right. Lastly, but definitely not least, our final Take One Leave One of the show features a batch of new posters for two gigantic March movies. Both Kong Skull Island and Power Rangers have began their marketing push and over the last week have released a number of new posters to get fans pumped for what's to come. Kong Skull Island hits theaters on March 10th, 2017, and Power Rangers is released on March 24th, 2017, including teaser posters, international posters, and official one-sheets. So, Jake, I don't know why you do this to me, make me choose between these two posters. I think you did it on purpose, but let's go to you first. Which ones are you taking?
Yeah, we're looking at them right now, and it's tough.
I think it's
man.
easier for you.
We'll see. I mean, these are two movies that I'm surprisingly looking forward to. How I would be.
That's good.
I actually saw John Wick yesterday, the sequel, and it was in the previews.
Oh yeah, it was too.
And it's the first time I've seen it on the big screen.
Oh really?
It looked cool. It just looks a lot of fun. The Kong Skull Island ones are obviously really cool. I love how they did one that's paid tribute to the original classic Kong, very animated style poster. You got the IMAX poster in there, and then obviously the one where he just looks ginormous with the sun in the background. But this might come to a surprise, but I'm taking Power Rangers.
Really?
I'm taking Power Rangers.
That's awesome.
The reason being is because one, if this is in fact the official poster, I think it's laid out really, really well with Rita in the back
and the Red Ranger.
Yeah, big. And the stars in the background. I don't know if you remember, but the original teaser poster was just the stars with the lightning bolt.
They were standing on the car.
Exactly.
I love that poster.
It kind of goes back to what the original poster was, and obviously the international. You see the real strong look at the Zords and what they look like. That's kind of our first true look at them, and then the one we saw earlier in the week. With them running next to the Zords. So that looks really cool. But the Kong ones, they're really strong. But I'm taking Power Rangers just because I think they're laid out really, really good. And they reveal a lot more. And they kind of capture what the movie's going to be about. I like that they don't have any of Rita's minions, and I forget what they're called.
Yeah, the putties.
The putties.
I don't know if they're going to call them in that.
Yeah, but I like that they don't have them because it kind of leaves a mystery to it.
Exactly.
Also, with no Goldar, I like that there's no Goldar because it, again, leaves a little bit of mystery to it. So, yeah, I'm taking Power Rangers and sadly leaving Kong Skull Island behind.
Yeah, this is not easy. I really like the Kong Skull Island ones, especially the callback to the old one. That's awesome, but I'm not going to lie. I'm completely biased in this one. I'm taking the Power Rangers trailers. And even without my bias, they look awesome. Like
they do.
That one with Rita and the
They're
stars,
laid out really strong.
If you didn't know what Power Rangers was and you had no idea and you just saw that poster, you're like, whoa, that looks awesome. It looks like a space adventure. I know they're not going to space, but their space and aliens have everything to do with the Power Rangers brand and the mythology behind it. Their powers, everything comes from other galaxies and stuff like that. So I think, not in this movie, but I think if this movie succeeds, it's received well, it does well financially, I think eventually we'll see them go to space, which that poster reminds me of like a
Do they go in space?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Eventually they do, and even in the original Mighty Morphin series, there's an episode where they have to travel to another planet, like in a different galaxy, to get something.
Okay.
And in the show, they can like fly in their suits in space.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I can see them. Well, Zordon's. They're in a ship. They're in a spaceship. Zordon's lair.
They already laid it out.
So I think not in this movie at all. This is going to take place on Earth. Them defending Earth.
I hope so. Yeah.
Maybe not even in the second one. Maybe in the third one or whatever. They said they want to make 5 of them, but it all depends on financial.
Yeah.
What they
well,
make.
let me ask you, and I don't really know anything about Power Rangers because I didn't watch it, but by looking at this poster, are the two main lead Power Rangers red and pink?
Yes.
Because I know they get together.
So, all right, it's weird because in the original show, in the original mythology, they never were romantically involved.
Okay. Well, they have to because they're kids, you know. It makes sense for a movie.
Well, no, because the green and the pink were romantically involved in the show.
Oh,
they never liked each other, the red and the pink. And a lot of people assumed that they did, but they didn't. But they are the two most popular ones out of the original 5. Once the green one comes along, I mean, the green/White Ranger is arguably the most popular. But
what's so special about him?
So when he first appears on the show, he's evil, and he works for Rita. And that's why people speculate that she was an ex-Green Ranger. Okay. So, and he's like the actor. I forget his name right now off the top of my head, but Jason something. He's like he represents Power Rangers. Like he's kind of like the ambassador for Power Rangers. Okay. They're even saying he might make a cameo in the film.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, everybody loves the Green Ranger. But as far as the original 5, Jason's the leader, the Red Ranger.
I knew that one. Yeah.
And then everybody, including myself, loves the Pink Ranger, but they're all awesome. But yeah, definitely, that is why they have it like that, because they're kind of the two leads. Okay,
and the Pink Ranger is the one with the
the Falcon.
The Falcon. Yeah. Okay, it's called the Falcon.
No, it's a pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl. Okay, Falcon. Yeah. I was gonna say that doesn't.
No, the White Ranger actually ends up having a pterodactyl Zord. No, she has the Falcon's horse. She has a pterodactyl, which is pretty awesome. All right, well, that's going to do it for Apocaflix movie news this week. I want to thank Jake for writing the notes, as always, and joining me today. Let them know where they can find you online.
Twitter, Instagram at Qui-Gon Jake, ApocaflixMovies.com every day. This YouTube channel, give us a like, share, subscribe. We really appreciate it.
And you can find me, Jacob Bartley, on Twitter at JacobBartley_ on this Apocaflix Movies YouTube channel. Please subscribe, hit that like button, check out our movie reviews, a bunch of other stuff we got going on, editorials.
News bit.
Yeah, news bits. We're doing a bunch of new stuff around here. So subscribe and stay tuned. Until next time, take care.